Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
We're going streaking!
Dave's Video Graveyard.
That guy in a little coat.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I'm not a smart man.
Shut up!
One tubby.
What's wrong with him?
My first thought would be alive.
Why so serious?
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Of all the radio shows in the world, this is definitely one of them. Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOWFM.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president.
Once again, you're joined by Grant and Dave for Dave's Video Graveyard. Tonight, we've managed to convince another guest to join us.
Another one.
I don't know what we're doing right.
We are
but
popular.
Yeah, that word hasn't got out yet.
Side.
That's it. We're on the west side now. We've recruited a distant cousin from the north side of community
right.
radio. Nona Mona, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for picking different movies than we would have picked.
Oh, really? What are you trying to say?
That I don't like most of your choices. So tonight,
I've seen half of them tonight. I don't know how useless.
usually it's a guest choice, but I was thinking maybe more just a guest suggestion tonight.
Guest suggestion,
Just didn't
yeah.
like the list. No, there were some fantastic films in there, and some that Grant would have definitely picked.
You mean the Ryan Gosling film? Is
I
that the
think
one
you
you're
guys
talking
are going to fight over Ryan Gosling tonight.
I'm pretty sure I'm the bigger fan of Gosling.
Well, this one
Let's
is
take it
very-
outside, man.
Oh, let's do it. Right now,
That's it.
after the show.
I must say, the Gosling choice tonight is very heartbreaking, and I was.
What did you call me in Messenger? You called me a big midday movie.
Yes, you big midday movie fan. Several of these films are the kind of films that I'd avoid on a midday, and there's also one of the films that I dislike the most in the world, but
I know which one you're
that's
talking
neither
about.
here.
Which one?
You know which one
We'll
he's
get
talking
there.
about?
We'll get there.
Oh, this is
I
very
love this film, by the
devastating.
way, but he just hates this film so much. We'll get
And
to it.
it is also one of those films where I'm constantly like, I never actually justify myself, but I'm always telling people, I just don't like it, leave me alone. And they're always like, why?
Yeah.
No, don't
You're
need
the
to
only
give a
person in
reason.
the world who don't like it.
I think so as well. That's how it feels. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Well, I like long walks on the beach.
Yeah,
No,
awesome.
I actually hate that because my thighs rub. But
I have the same problem.
yeah, I don't know. So
Have you tried standing up when you walk down the beach?
So I guess I'm an entertainer of sorts. I'm Nona Mona. I'm a burlesque artist, showgirl / stripper / exotic person. And I've recently released a podcast, so that's been really fun.
And how can people check that out, and where is it?
So it's on iTunes and it's on most podcast platforms, but I go through podbean.com. So, but you can find me on iTunes, and it's called Listen to Nona, and it's new. So there's only like 2 episodes up, so get on it.
Now, me and Grant didn't actually know the whole adult entertainment side of your career. We're just huge burlesque fans. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
really?
And community radio fans.
Why are your eyebrows so lifted?
What eyebrows?
Eyebrows.
Thank you for being the first person on earth to refer to me as having eyebrows. I might even play the song for the film that I don't like tonight.
Ooh.
That's it. And you're also on the Enemy Station, and you have another radio show.
So I'm part of a threesome, and we call ourselves The Show on 89.7 PBAFM. Ooh, is this place going to get struck by lightning now?
No. It's just if anyone out there listening decides they're not into quality anymore, they can head over and check you guys out. We might go into our first song for the first choice.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this is Dave's Video Graveyard. Because the first choice on Nona Mona's list is Forrest Gump.
Yes, it's actually my favourite movie of all time.
Of all time?
Yes, I've seen it I don't know how many times.
Now, for the 6 people on Earth that haven't seen the film, why don't you tell us a bit about it?
Well, I guess it's the interpretation of a man's life
You clearly have not listened to us before.
Through his eyes.
It's called Tom Hanks and he does stuff.
It's a great movie.
And it's old and Gary Sinise has no legs. That's more
Lieutenant
like...
Dan, come on. The legend. So how do you guys rate this movie?
10 out of 10. This is a classic. It's great. I love it.
It's one of those films that, like, you can't talk badly about because it's just...
It's so heartwarming and emotional.
It's almost like a profiling film for, like, people that don't belong in society. Because if someone sat and watched that and went, I really don't like that film, it's like, out you go. Go on. Straight on the no-fly list for you. But no, yeah, I think for when it came out...
Is it Spielberg film? Is it Steven Spielberg? I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it
Steven
is.
Spielberg.
I wouldn't have a clue, man.
Oh, I thought this was your favourite movie.
Yeah, but I don't. I do the watching. Okay?
Yeah, right. Okay.
I don't do the research.
Did you not research? Because that was all you had to do.
I literally never research anything.
You will fit in perfectly.
I'm one of those people that reads Facebook things and it's like, it's fact. If it's on Facebook, it's fact.
Yeah, right. Well, it is. Yeah.
I've done my research. So it's from 1994. The film's Forrest Gump.
Already. Wow,
yeah, 1994. I remember the scenes where he's put into like the stock film with JFK and different bits like that. Were mind blowing at the time because there was nothing like that at the time.
I like the bit when he wipes the dirt off his face and says "Have a nice day," and it's the smiley face, and that's become that
the shit happens
smiley face logo. Yeah. This is cool.
Sally Field is his mum. That's probably, given my age, that's probably the first thing I saw Sally Field in, pretending that I hadn't seen Steel Magnolias at the time. But there's so many great parts of this film. It's so iconic, and it reminded the world that we all will never stop loving Tom Hanks.
That's right.
Can the man do no wrong?
One of those Dan Brown films. I think it was Inferno. It was a hot garbage fire.
Is that series?
There's Angels and Demons.
Yeah.
The Da Vinci Code.
And all that. Yeah.
Never seen those. Hey.
Well, steer clear because it's a warm garbage fire at best. The second one had Ewan McGregor parachuting with a nuclear weapon from a helicopter, and I'm like, is this based on true story? Because
no, that's the one I have seen. I've only seen that one, but that's the second one. Isn't it?
I've got a bit of an unspoken Ewan McGregor rule anyway, because it's just he's always great in everything he's in, even when it's terrible.
Even in those awful Star Wars movies.
Even in that, even in that film with Alicia Silverstone, where he's in the boot of her car. I don't know what it's called.
Which one's that?
Well,
you just say
sounds epic.
Yeah.
It's just quickly
on
Star Wars. I've only just recently watched the first 3 Star Wars.
Well,
never seen it.
Do you mean the first 3 released or the first 3?
We're gonna get. You mean the original 3 or the prequel original one?
This depends. Let me get my asthma puffer out.
Can you just fix the middle of your glasses with tape before you go on?
The original. So the original 3.
Only just. And you loved them, right? You see what all the hype is about.
Yeah.
You choose your words well. What did Nona Mona officially on the record have to say about the original Star Wars trilogy?
I actually thought they were a lot funnier than what I thought they were going to be.
Well, that's good.
Such a cop-out of an answer, though.
Funnier.
Well, I always thought it was like a serious sci-fi movie, but it's not. It doesn't take itself serious.
It is based on true story from a long time in a galaxy far, far away. I'll have you know.
And look, I'm attracted to...
Han Solo. Me neither.
What's the actor? What's his name? Come
Harrison
on.
Ford.
That's God, yes.
Yeah, that's Han Solo.
Get into me. Just ejaculate right now.
That's inappropriate.
That's a kids movie, you know.
Sorry. Is that bad? I found him attractive when I watched Indiana Jones. Like, I was little and I was like, damn.
No, Harrison Ford.
As long as it wasn't the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. As long as it wasn't that film, because then it's like, I really like that guy, Harry Highpants over there.
Do you find old man Harrison Ford attractive? Or
yeah, I would say so. I have yet to go see, is it Blade Runner?
Yeah.
I want to go, the guys.
Yeah, I was going to say the Gosling.
You guys could have a little day and you could both wear your
Ryan Gosling.
Your Gosling t-shirts.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you know how he has a massive... Getting away from Forrest Gump quickly. You know the way how I've always said Ryan Gosling has a big forehead? In tonight's film, they age him by shaving his hairline higher, and it's amazing because he could put a full-size cap from here to here and it cover perfectly, and he still have his hairline back. That's how big his forehead is. But that's just an opinion.
That sounds like insecure talk to me.
What? Yeah. You're just jealous of him and his forehead.
No, I was all about the guys in Remember the Titans, and no one cared yet. Then the Notebook happened, and suddenly it was hot. And I'm like, I said it first, guys.
Did you ever see him in that film and he's in love with a doll?
Yes, that Lars on the Rail Girl. Is that the one where I think it's
you said in English. I missed that whole sentence. Yeah. What is it?
Lars on the Rail Girl. I'm pretty sure it's called something like that.
I had no idea you had an accent until then.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you went from like really articulated to oh yeah, that film. Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's really it's a weird movie.
It is.
Now, just remembering in my mind and not looking it up on IMDb, it's directed by Robert Zemeckis of Back to the Future trilogy.
What, Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Pretty sure Spielberg's involved though.
Yeah.
Well, so I was half.
I know that was your question, but I found another fact. So
all right.
Made on a budget of $55 million, made $677 million. So a little bit of a profit for that one.
Just a tiny.
When's he going to do the poorly aged actor sequel that seems to be the
Forrest Gump 2?
Forrest Gump 2.
Never. You can't do that.
What about a remake?
One thing, like as a
don't
kid,
get me started.
It's very for me. Forrest Gump's very Degrassi to my learning about the world, because it was like I learned so many adult themes through Degrassi Junior High.
Yes, when Spike got pregnant.
Forrest Gump. Jenny really taught me a lot about the world. And one thing that still drives me crazy is like, he spends his entire life pining after her and stuff. She's not interested. Finally, she contracts a terrible disease, and she's like, "I'll be with you now."
Yeah.
Like, no.
But that's reality.
Is that reality?
Is that why you haven't settled down yet?
Look, I have yet to contract a disease, so I'm just waiting. You know,
you sound like
I'm waiting to
cross off
attract the right disease.
You've got a fridge list of,
let's get Harrison Ford.
I just need some Harrison Ford diseases, and I'm ready to settle down.
Use Dirty Needle today in the hopes of
get that disease you've always wanted. What are you looking at?
Nothing.
No.
What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Yeah, what are you both looking at?
Yeah. So we might move on to the second choice. Anything else to say about Forrest Gump before we move on?
Life is like a box of chocolates, Dave.
No
one said I had to say it.
You had to, yeah.
Sorry.
It gives you diabetes.
It does.
Is that the point?
Yeah.
Anyway, we might move on that uplifting note of diseases and Harrison Ford impregnations.
How did we get into that from Forrest Gump? That was awesome.
Just another week on the video graveyard. This is WOWFM. From the next pick from Nona Mona's choices of favourite films ever. And I must say, it goes straight on to my list of films I could not watch. Now, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I was quite worried about my masculinity. Could not get through this film because it's midday lady ass.
I'm shocked by that. I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
It's from the
so much worse.
It's from the 1995 fans of Jane the Virgin. Like if Jane the Virgin was around,
I had
back
no idea
then,
this movie exists.
It's a TV. Yes. So the
film, I had no idea.
Why don't you tell us what the film is?
Are there explosions in it or anything? Is it
explosions?
Is there explosions?
Well,
only in Jared Leto's dreamy eyes.
Right, obviously.
So the movie is about I don't know. It's
Do you want to say what it's called?
Yeah, for all the listeners out there who are so keen to hear this. It's How to Make an American Quilt with Winona Ryder.
So it's an instructional film, is that right?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right.
So it's just basically about this girl who's like kind of at a turning point in her life. And she's about to get married and she's not sure if she wants to get married. So she goes and spends the summer with her grandmother,
her nana,
aunties and all of these. Yeah. And basically they're in this like quilting group that they make quilts and they're making her wedding quilt. And then the movie is based around all the stories that these ladies tell about how they found love for the first time. That's beautiful. How can you not?
Very emotional.
My eyes
And there's a quilt. Come on.
You know when you
There's a
you
quilt.
had me. It's like
You've got us.
coming this summer from Michael Bay, starring The Rock. No, I'm still not going to see it. And a quilt. I mean, there's a quilt in this film, guys. Rush out and see it. It's from 1995. Based on the novel of the same name, written in 1991.
I did not know it was a book. There you go.
Well, now the best thing about films that were books, you get to pretend to have read a book.
Did you know Forrest Gump was a book?
Yes. No,
I
I
did
didn't.
not. Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Wow.
the ending of that is completely different.
Really?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan gets robot legs
Yeah.
and fights in the future wars with Harrison Ford.
And there's a monkey. Anyway.
That's a great film. Did we just
That
get
does
rich?
sound awesome. We do this every week.
It was made for $10 million, which I think was 10 million people getting $1 to go and see it.
Right.
It went on to make $41 million because there must have been an accounting error.
So negative,
It
man.
is so boring. But Jared Leto's so dreamy, and I say that with all sexual confidence.
True that, yeah.
And he's so young, and he's so... One thing I'll say is all the female
He's so
characters in
dreamy,
this
he's
are
so young.
super empowered, which is really good because, you know, there's a lot of like...
How would you know that if you didn't watch it?
I watched a lot of it, and then I skimmed through a lot of it.
Yeah. Just went straight to the quilt making.
I just can't. That's it.
Watch that needle.
I'm sitting there with a needle and stitch and all these
Ready to
patches
make
in
a
a hand,
quilt.
just sitting there waiting for them to start telling me what to do. It was terrible. And I cannot stand Winona Ryder.
Why not?
What?
Even though, wait, I really enjoy mermaids, which is just totally counterintuitive to that
Beetlejuice?
point. Nah.
You
Give
didn't
her a
like
take.
Beetlejuice?
She's just a thief that steals stuff from shops, in my mind.
True, actually.
That's a mental health issue.
Stealing, is it?
You can't
I'm gonna go do it, just
argue
blame it on
with
my
that
mental health.
now.
Can't
Well,
help
I'm
it, it's my mental
guessing,
health. I'm taking this.
Yeah, I've just
a mental
lost that
health
argument. So it stars Winona Ryder, Anne Bancroft, Ellen Burness. Who else is worth mentioning? Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Rip Torn's in there with his
Best name
thrashed old
ever, by
voice.
the way.
I know.
Rip Torn.
What?
Is that real?
That's a real name. Rip Torn.
He's
Shut
like
up.
How good's that?
he's the dad from Freddy Got Fingered. I can't think of an iconic. I can't think of an iconic role.
Men in Black.
Men in
He's
Black.
the head
He's
of
Zed in Men in
the
Black.
agents in Men in Black.
His real life name is Rip Torn.
Yeah.
Honestly, what kind of parents?
Are you going to change your name?
I'm going to change it now to Nona Torn.
None at all. Sounds
Between.
great. None at all between Han Solo and Jared Leto.
Oh,
So yeah,
God,
the film's
stop.
the film's about. It's like everything about it that bothers me. It looks
Yep.
like a washed-out midday movie from the 90s.
Love
It
it.
looks like an episode of Seventh Heaven or one of those kind of
Love
shows. Winona Ryder is in. It's that 90s thing where the insufferable female lead you're meant to, you know, like, and that
Yep.
was really difficult. And that's not being sexist. She's just. She's a wet paint wall in this whole film. You're like, oh, hurry up and dry.
Okay.
And
Wow.
Jared Leto's in it though. He's so dreamy. Did
Not
I mention
dreamy,
he's
Ryan
in that
Gosling.
at all?
But what character does he play? Because I don't know who that is.
He is
You've
when
You're
the
joking.
character with the dreadlocks tells the story about when she was younger and she slept with the white plantation owner's son. He's the son. So that's her longing
Yeah,
love
got ya.
that was going to get her out of there, but he never did because he went on to form 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, that was it.
And time travel. Because this is a true story, I'm guessing. And Jared Leto played himself. It's a terrible film. But
All right.
it's one of Nona's favourite films. So we've got to respect that because that's the whole point of having guests on. It's broadening
You're
our
just
horizons.
so respectful. I love how respectful you are.
We're here to broaden our horizons and watch
I'm gonna watch this film.
terrible midday movies.
I'll watch it tomorrow afternoon.
Please do. And get back to me.
No, I will.
I want a full review.
Oh, that means I'll
I'll
have to
give
actually
it-
watch it all the way to the end.
3 yawns and one of those held-in yawns that makes a bubble of snot come out of your nose. Out of 5. So,
Okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's out of 5. So you know that's pretty good. I think maybe if we've sold this film enough to our listeners out there, we could possibly move on to the next film on the list that I don't have, and it is, without a
It's your
doubt,
favourite movie of all time, right?
in my opinion, It is the most insufferable
This
film
is the one.
ever
This is the one
made.
he hears.
What?
I do not understand why.
Wow!
You
Wow!
are listening to Dave's Video Graveyard. Much very jovial off-air banter going on, but we come back talking about the world's worst film,
Yay!
in my opinion.
Worst what?
It's the greatest film ever, and it is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yay! It's uplifting. It's feeling
Joyful.
good.
So, guys, it's
This is a
from
classic.
1986.
86, that's when I was born, man.
It's John Hughes, who nothing but respect to the man that brought us Home Alone 1 and 2.
And The Breakfast Club.
Breakfast
And
Club,
Weird
Pretty in
Science.
Pink.
Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles.
Why did you have to go down the manly John Hughes side of things? Nona, why did you pick this, can you call it a
Amazing
film? Yeah, film.
I think I saw it when I was probably in primary school, and it was a random person's house. Like, you know when you got dragged to like family barbecues and stuff? And
Was TV in black and white back then?
not quite.
It would have been funny because I was banking on you being older than me, but you've totally ruined it by being young.
Yeah,
So-
I do backfired, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
But anyway, yeah, so I was just at this family event or something, and it was on in the background, and I just remember watching it for a little bit, and then it just kept going, and by the end I was like enthralled. So
I actually really recently saw on a car Save Ferris bumper sticker, and I was like, I'm just going to crash into it. I'll be doing the world a
This
favour.
film is amazing.
yeah, can you give us at least one decent reason as to why you don't hate it, other than I hate Matthew Broderick?
I don't like the voice of the teacher.
The voice of the teacher.
I don't like Matthew Broderick breaking the fourth wall and talking to the camera. And his best friend. I think I've realised I've just been triggered, and I think I realised I cannot stand the character Cameron so much.
Why not?
Which is
Is that his mate in the film?
He's a bit mopey.
He's just insufferable.
Was that classic scene
rich
where
boy.
they're trying to reverse the miles on the
odometer.
car or whatever, and then he kicks it out of anger, and then it the whole
What-
film they're trying not to get a scratch in it, and then destroyed at the end.
What did you say about the actress who plays a sister while we were off air? I found that really interesting.
I'm pretty sure it's either because I'm not sure of the timeline, but she did Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She did Dirty Dancing and a few other iconic films. She had obviously a very unique look with her nose and everything. She bowed to pressure and got a nose job, and that basically took away everything that was unique about her face, and she pretty much just went into obscurity after that. But if I could time travel, I would get Matthew Broderick to get a nose job straight after this film.
Why?
Because then
You know that's not the...
that's how it works.
Come on,
Yeah,
Dave. It's got a great musical number in this as well. Don't you wish you could do that? Like you just burst into a
float?
song and
Yeah.
dance just randomly. I wish I could. I can. Are you ready? No, I tried that once.
So tell us more about why you love this film. What's your favourite part?
My favourite part in Ferris. You put me on the spot.
The whole movie.
And another thing that was quite upsetting was Deadpool was my favourite film of 2016, and then the after credits scene, he does the after credits scene of Ferris Bueller, and it just ruined it so much for me.
I got to say the float.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah, such a
float.
good
Come
scene.
on. It's so good.
Everyone loves him. The whole city loves him. There he is.
I reckon that's why you hate it, because...
Talk to our listeners, guys, because they'd be listening more so right now than I am, because you guys are wrong. It was made for
Oh, you have listeners? That's good.
Sorry, listener. It was... Hi, Mum. It was made for a budget of $5.8 million, went on to make $70.8 million, which is mind-blowing. And there's two really terrible real-life people in it now because of real-life goings-on that have happened that made the principal and the convict in the police station.
You can still say his name. It's alright to still say his name.
We don't need to say Charlie Sheen's name, but there's a few things going around that have taken the shine off his career, which I didn't think could get much duller. So that's
You're in such a bad mood tonight. You're hating on everyone and everything.
No.
Movies.
I like good things though. I still like
good things.
Oh, yeah?
That's it.
Go on.
I think it's time we moved on to a good movie. How does that sound, guys?
Here we go.
Yep.
All right. This is Dave's Video Graveyard. I've said choice enough times. Nona Mona picked this film. It's her fault. From 1999, starring Jim Carrey. It is awesome. Tell us about it.
It's an awesome movie. To be honest, I only recently saw it, like probably within the past 5 years or so, and I never knew about Andy Kaufman up until I saw that movie, and it kind of just opened my eyes to him, and now I'm like obsessed with the man. It's just it was a big turning point for me in terms of comedy and that stuff.
I was super obsessed with late 90s, or mid 90s to late 90s Saturday Night Live.
Okay,
and so then after that on pay TV at the time, they started showing the 70s series and that with Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase. I'm like, wow, for all the films I love from like Steve Martin and Chevy Chase, they are terrible. Like, this show is so bad. But it had just aged poorly. But Andy Kaufman was one of the featured players, and he's so bizarre because a big part, like, it's a biopic, but a big thing is no one, even his closest friends, knew when he was putting on an act like if it was really him being genuine. The TV show Taxi, which went on to be like a massive hit, he was a spanner in the works pretty much every day there. Like, he'd show up one day and he wouldn't speak English, or he'd show up and refuse to face the camera. Like, he'd just face the back of the room. And
so it was a bit loopy.
Yeah, it was just, and it was.
Well, Jim Carrey was perfect actor to play him, then you reckon?
Yeah, well, there's a new series coming. Is it a series or a once-off?
I think it's like a doco, just a one-off doco, and it's about the method acting that Jim Carrey did for this role, because he basically immersed himself completely, because he was the driving force of getting this film made, because it was his absolute idol when it came to comedy. And I just love little like things that he did, like he got the TV network to put on a 1 hour special that was the Andy Kaufman special, where he could do whatever he wanted. And so he wrote all these really like good skits, but then what he wanted to do was to get the broadcast signal to be distorted, and basically, like the vertical hole of an old TV, basically have the TV ruined, so that people would get up, smash their TVs and break their TVs. And that would be the payoff of the joke, would be for him that people were breaking their TVs.
I like the little things, like when he first meets the character of Danny DeVito, and he, how he moves like the booger from one side of his nose to the other, just like little things like that. Like, oh, perfect.
And we spoke a little off air. He had a fictional character he created that was a lounge singer by the name of Tony Clifton. And basically he had in his contract that he wouldn't appear anywhere live without Tony Clifton opening up for him. And it was fun. Everything he did was pretty much a social experiment where it was for him to laugh. It wasn't for the crowd to laugh necessarily. But everyone didn't know if he was a genius or just the weirdest human on earth.
I'm going to go genius. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see the new series. I think it's called Jim and Andy.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's the Jim Carrey series. Is that the Jim Carrey series you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Just get here. See, now my mood has changed because we're not talking about Matthew Broderick. I'm all happy, and you're just like, oh, I'm going to go over here and count daffodils. Budget of $52 million, only made $47.3 million, but it was pretty much a vanity project for Jim Carrey. He just wanted it to get made because it was a shrine to his idol kind of thing. And I really enjoyed it.
And just quickly.
No.
They're even not sure if his death was real or not. Like, that's how much of a...
That's how committed to what he did he was. And that was the other thing. Even when he was, like, basically dying, he refused to admit that Tony Clifton was okay. And I think, because he was quite sick towards the end, he even did a performance as Tony Clifton during his, like,
and he
dying
paid,
days.
I think he got someone very close to him to play Tony Clifton after his death to come back. And so people were like, is he actually dead or not?
Yeah, it was part of, like, basically part of his will was that someone would carry on Tony Clifton. So everyone's like, well... He's clearly not dead. It is so fascinating. Definitely worth checking out. And, that's a great choice. You got one.
Woo! I'm in.
Nah, it's all good. We're moving on to our next film, and it's on to another absolute classic. This is Dave's Video Graveyard. 100.5 WOWFM. Little known fact, Tone Loc did a terrible theme song for Ace Ventura Part 1.
Did
called Aces in the House. It's so bad. Just putting it out there.
No, it's a very little known fact.
Put that in your little book of stuff no one cares about.
Oh, wow.
The next film is a fantastic choice also. I hate to say that with such surprise in my voice, but, you know, we're progressing.
Yeah.
We're progressing. It is
we're getting to the good
1989.
ones now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
1989 John Hughes film, Uncle Buck, starring the incomparable, untouchable John Candy.
So good. So good.
Is that it? Move
That's
on to,
it.
On to the
That's
next
my
one.
review. You just go see. And if you haven't seen it, get out of my life.
I have a 1-year-old daughter, and I hope in my heart that the way Uncle Buck is as an uncle is the way I'm going to be as a father to my daughter, particular to my daughter's boyfriends or girlfriends, whatever it happens to be at the time. I'm definitely going to have an axe in my boot.
Are you stocking up on drills?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's a fantastic film. Basically, the black sheep of the family is left to look after his niece and his nephew and 2 nieces, and hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
And it's one thing about John Hughes films is like, for how like feel good comedy they are, there's always so much there to bring you down if you really look into it. Like, you know, the fact that he's not married. He's kind of not happy where he is in life.
He's got a gambling addiction.
He's got a drinking and eating problem. He's basically... Just don't think about that, though. Just think of the one-liners.
But he's like the jolly fat dude. It's okay.
Yeah. Why did you look at me when you said that?
I looked at your bosom. It's fine.
Stop looking at my cleavage. I love this film. I even had it on tape off the telly.
Ooh,
and
you tipped it off the TV.
It must have been on a Friday or Saturday because I even pressed pause when the ads were on.
Yeah, right.
So there was no ads.
Can we just get to the good part, like the giant pancakes?
As
a kid, that was like
yeah.
heaven, wasn't it? Like that was the ultimate fantasy.
What do you...
Giant
you
pancakes.
upset me by saying as a kid. Like that still would be the highlight of my week. So good. But he puts what does he put in the pancakes? He puts herbs or something in the pancakes.
I can't remember.
Oh well.
I don't think he does.
What's the good of you? Well, I put it to you that he does.
Who's the bigger fan?
Because Macaulay Culkin even says he's cooking our garbage. You'll see. You'll all see.
You'll show me.
Yeah, that'll be the day. Starring John Candy and a lot of people that were something in the 80s but don't really matter because it's got John Candy.
Yep.
And that's all that matters. Made by John Hughes. Went on to have John Candy cameo in Home Alone also.
That's right, I did, yeah.
Yeah, he was the jazz musician that gives Kevin's mum a ride home. I can't love this.
I think you'll find he was a polka band.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, you've got the facts when it's against me. So what else do you like about it then, huh?
Just, it was heartwarming.
It really is. It really is. Did you just go, this heartwarming? Yeah. Such a beautiful movie.
That's it. Heartwarming from someone whose plan is to get impregnated by an aging Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Just a Harrison Ford, not the Harrison Ford.
I'm Harry Ford.
You'll do.
Ford.
Get in.
All up in and around it, thanks. Yeah, it's a kids' film, family film. Watch it with your family. Watch it on your own. Legally download it. Whatever it... well, it's hard now in Australia, but whatever it takes, check out this film. Actually, no... Probably just flick through your free-to-air TV right now. It'll be on one of the channels.
At midday.
Yeah. No, yeah, they play it between episodes of MacGyver and How to Make an American Quilt replay. Maybe that's how to Make an American Quilt made their money.
MacGyver? You get MacGyver?
Yeah, they put it between episodes of MacGyver.
I thought you meant you get MacGyver to make the quilt.
Oh,
that's why I thought you were going to that.
That would be a great sequel. From the maker of Stranger Things, because they were really happy with Winona Ryder and Stranger Things 1 and 2. They're like, all right, we're gonna adapt How to Make an American Quilt into a TV show. Who would play Winona Ryder's character nowadays?
Don't know.
Come on, we got to cast this. We got to cast this.
Wait, are we talking about Stranger Things?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're casting the Netflix series of How to Make an American Quilt.
Oh, roger that. Oh gosh. What about the one that was a wizard, the girlfriend of the wizard?
Emma Watson.
Yeah, that'll do.
How did you get that from the girlfriend of a wizard?
Because I've never seen
the one
Harry...
who was a wizard, the girlfriend of a wizard. I was like, wait, what?
I haven't
You
seen
got
Harry
Emma Watson
Potter,
straight
and that
away.
was enough for me.
I've not seen that either, but do you reckon she'd do?
Maybe.
Margot Robbie.
No.
You're just, why do you have that weird look?
What weird?
When
That's
you're
just
like-
how I look.
I can't see him
Weird
past...
look.
Can't see you past the front of your jeans right now.
Anywho. Why have you gone so silent? Are you thinking about the front
No,
of my
I'm just...
Yeah, why he's taken aback by your trousers.
No, I was just looking up trivia about Uncle Buck, and there's just really weird black and white photos of Macaulay Culkin just looking uncomfortable, and it stared into my soul for a moment, and I forgot what I was doing. Yeah.
Was Uncle Buck before Home Alone? It was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Because he's
Home
quite
Alone
young
was
in
the
there.
90s,
Yeah.
and then, here's some trivia.
Ooh.
Winona Ryder was the first choice for the role of Tia after John Hughes had seen her in Beetlejuice. So she almost ruined this film as well.
Get out.
No, that's not very nice. So we might move on to our next choice if you guys don't have anything else to mumble about Uncle Buck.
Negative.
Nah. I
Nothing.
think we covered it all. It's an
All
awesome
right.
film.
And Grant will be talking all about the next film all on his own. This is Dave's Video Graveyard. Dave's Video Graveyard for your Monday evening. Currently it is 5 to 9.
Cool.
That's
I
radio,
knew
guys.
that.
I'm a professional.
You can read a clock.
Not if it's analog, though. It's just for show. I have to count around the fives. So the next film, which I didn't think I'd say too often on the show, is from 1968.
Wowee.
And it is culturally insensitive to our modern-day audience, and I was quite surprised about that. But it is the 1968 film The Party, starring the incomparable... I've completely
Peter
forgotten his name.
Sellers.
Peter Sellers, the Pink Panther himself, who plays a very Indian character, and including, I guess you'd say, brown face and the over-exaggerated accent. It's wouldn't get made today. Yeah, it is. It's a brown face routine. And
Did you just look that
It
up? Is
definitely
that the
would not be
official-
made.
it would not
Right.
be made in 2017 without there being some marches out the front,
Yeah, right.
kind of thing. It is basically the extra in a film. He's a bumbling idiot, almost a Mr. Bean type character, and he causes all these explosions during the filming of this movie. He's an extra in, and instead of getting fired, he accidentally gets invited to a party at the director's house, which is for all bigwigs and stuff of the film industry. You've got your Texas oil magnate,
Yeah.
all those kind of stereotypical characters. You've got your low-cut top starlets, which I was a bit of a fan of a lot of those. And
The Supreme Blonde.
yeah, that's the one. And it would not get made now, but it is really funny and delightful. And thank you for suggesting this one, because I would
Yay.
never have watched this film without having to, basically. Having it set as a set text for me. But it was really good. Why did you pick it?
Well, I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for my dad. So when I was a kid, my dad sat me and my brother down and was like, all right, we're going to watch this movie, because he was an ex-army dude. So he was like, it's happening.
Not to take away from your heartfelt family story, but that could have been the start of the most terrible story ever. But just moving on, I shouldn't have said that.
No, you just made it awkward. So anyway, we're sitting down, and as you know, the start of the movie seems like super dreary. Like it's set on the set of the movie, which is set in, I don't even know when.
Yeah. I don't
Like it's set out in the desert. It looks like it's going to be like a Western kind of movie. I don't know. Anyway,
I got like a Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh,
kind
sorry.
of,
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
to it, kind of thing.
Same. But saw that for the start of it. I thought, oh God, Dad, why are you doing this? And then it just took off, and I fell in love with that movie.
And given our age, Peter Sellers has always been yesteryear's generation.
Yeah.
Where, he was a Mr. Bean for old people kind of thing. But he is delightful in it. I only really knew him from the Pink Panther films, which they were on between episodes of Uncle Buck. So it'd be Uncle Buck, then they'd play one of those. But I didn't realise how much... I'd seen Mike Myers, when he was making Austin Powers, say that a huge influence on the filmmaking was Peter Sellers, and I think a lot of it visually comes from this film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sight gags, a
this.
lot of... It's. I wouldn't say not to
need to
watch it. It's
Yeah,
definitely
right.
worth it. He finds... it's funny now, but...
You kind of have to watch it to get
I was about to tell the
skits, like-
story of the skit with the feeding the bird, and to put it to words just undersells it, and it sounds so crap. It just sounds like the worst.
It's basically a man throwing seeds at a cage.
He feeds a bird. He feeds a bird. That's the scene that I was just about to tell you how much I enjoyed. He feeds a bird.
All right. Well, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah. You into bird feeding?
I love it.
Ladies love bird feeding.
That's actually a kink, anyway.
You're still on podcast mode.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Kink.
Oh, God, yeah.
Harrison Ford feeding birds. How about that?
How awfully forward of you. Harrison Ford.
Oh, wowie.
Shut up. It's my show. My name's on the show. I can make terrible puns. It's what I'm here for. Yeah, let's have a look in my memory, not looking it up. It was made for $1.5 million, which would have been spent...
That'd have been a lot back then.
...on the house that they filmed this thing in. I don't know if it's a real house or
Yeah,
a
because
set
I couldn't
on a
work it
movie
out.
lot. It's basically like your typical 1970s, like Valley of the Dolls mansion party house. It's got all platforms that move. There's an elephant.
So basically the whole house is on top of a swimming pool almost.
And there's
the door,
levers and pulleys and buttons that remove the floor, and so there's a lot. You can imagine the scenarios that come across with, whoops, I pressed the wrong button kind of thing. I don't want it to sound crap. I feel like I'm underselling it because it is a good film.
And the elephant?
There's the elephant and it's got paint.
And elephant's bird feeding.
Get on
This
it,
film
man.
sounds awesome.
There's an elephant and they feed birds. It's basically an episode of Totally Wild. Get onto it, guys. And as we said, it would not get made in 2017 because because Peter Sellers is old or dead. But other than that, it's pretty culturally insensitive. What do you think about culturally sensitive, quiet lady?
Yeah, well...
Seems like a topic you really want to discuss.
Look, I'm all about, PC stuff. Love it. Please just change the topic.
What's the P stand for?
But, okay, so if they remade it now, but they cast...
It would be Mike Myers.
Do you think?
It'd be a half sequel to The Love Guru.
Oh, wow. That was...
film.
I could not... That's probably one movie I could not get through.
No.
One thing... Have you seen That's My Boy?
Okay, another one I could not get through.
We love that film, and then we were embarrassed.
I can't stand Adam Sandler, but that's one film that I actually thought was funny.
It's got Vanilla Ice in it.
No, I got confused. Sorry, I got confused. I was thinking about, the guy from Johnny Knoxville when he made that movie, The Ringer.
Oh, yeah, the Special Olympics film.
I thought that you were talking about that movie.
No. We're talking, it's Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, who I love both of them equally, more so Andy Samberg.
Okay, I like Andy Samberg, so I'll give it a go.
It's so many terrible... It's terrible, but it's beautiful in how terrible it is.
It is so funny.
And it's got Susan Sarandon's daughter plays a young character, and then Susan Sarandon plays the same character but older, and I'm so in love with both of them.
Yeah.
It is criminal how attractive I find both of them.
Susan Sarandon is like the female version of Tom Hanks. Like, can she do any wrong?
No, I don't think so. And
not to you anyway. You're in love.
Not according to my Google image search history. No.
Okay, that's creepy.
No, it's not.
So creepy.
It's with love. It's as if it's from a film enjoyer.
Film enjoyer.
That's the term, right? We're film enjoyers.
That's it.
So we might move on to the next film, which I'm surprised we haven't talked about on this film before. On this film. This is the film. Shut up, guys. Whose name's on the door? Probably says studio, but it's not mine. This is Dave's Video Graveyard, solo for the next hour here on WOWFM. Dave's Video Graveyard. There we heard from When in Rome, which is the trailer song, the ending credits song to the next choice from 2004, which is the year after I finished high school.
Is it?
Yeah. Napoleon Dynamite. Tell us about it.
How would you even describe Napoleon?
A film.
No, that would be Napoleon.
According to IMDb here, it says film.
Well, it's about a high school kid and his adventures in kind of just...
A few days in, basically...
How would you describe Napoleon Dynamite himself?
Yeah, how would you... He's unique.
A dimwit?
He's a product. He's a product of a time before they diagnosed things.
All right.
I guess is one way you could say it. But I really love this film because it's just so. Oh, it's.
I think it's secretly
hilarious.
beautiful though, as well.
It's got so much heart.
You know,
it
like at
definitely-
the
Yeah,
end,
alright, yeah,
just
sure.
the end scene is like.
When
I
he's
don't
dancing?
know. Yeah,
And my-
it makes my heart tremble when they're just playing that ball game at the end. I was like, oh,
You should probably get that checked. That might be like something else. But
it's a flap. It's not a ball.
I love this film, but as I age, I hate how much more and more my life is starting to parallel with my Uncle Rico. And it's inevitable that one day I'll be like, if only we'd played that gig that I said no to. If only we'd played that gig.
What's the Mexican guy's name?
Pedro.
Pedro.
Vote
that's
for
it.
Pedro.
Yeah.
Do you also own a time machine that you bought from?
I'm not quite at that stage, but I do still own a lot of... I still listen to the same music I listened to in high school, and I still wear flame shirts.
Do you really?
My favourite character from Napoleon Dynamite.
Don't
is
you
his
want to talk
brother.
about my flame shirt?
No.
Okay.
Burn it. What was the
It's
brother's
already
name?
burning with fashion.
With
You don't
swag.
understand fashion, so we got you here for films, not for fashion. Kip is the best character in the whole film, other than whatever the name of the kickboxing. What is his name?
I know, yes.
You know the guy
When he
that
goes
runs
to
the
learn.
dojo. I can't
So
think of
good.
what it was. But you know the guy you don't want to get a roundhouse one wearing these bad boys. Best.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Rex.
Good lord.
So yeah, basically follows a couple of high school students leading up to prom. It's one of those films where after watching it, you realise that nothing happened. Like there was no problem action resolution. It was just entertaining.
Funny moments.
Has its heart. John Heder went on to do the likes of Blades of Glory and
Which
a
is
few other
hilarious.
films. Which
Did
I
you
love
like
that
that one?
film.
Yeah.
I even love Benchwarmers, which he was in. But yeah, this film's fantastic. Very slow burn film where it's like you couldn't watch 5 minutes and get this film. You'd have to watch all of it to get the thing.
I heard that he didn't get paid a lot for it. However, then the director kept all the royalties. I don't know. Something about as an actor, he made sweet FA on it, basically.
That makes sense. It was a very made for nothing type film.
It's like real independent, I guess. Would you call it independent?
Yeah.
So he made no money off one of the.
Well, I don't know about
No, he was paid $1,000.
Yeah, there you
with
go.
no renegotiations of compensation. For
That's crazy.
Didn't matter. Basically, it didn't matter how much the film made. His contract said that the 1,000 was the.
And his face is now everywhere as
Yeah.
Napoleon, though. Like you often
Yeah.
see it on pens and stuff. I don't know.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
How I bet you give it in the next 5 years, every party that he goes to, he'll still get asked to do the dance.
Yeah. I
So-
love that scene. It's so good.
I love his terrible drawing because I don't know about you. But I went to school with a guy that was so obsessed with drawing, and it was so bad, but he was so into it.
What does he draw? Does he draw a liger?
A liger,
Yeah,
a
liger,
lion,
that's it.
tiger, and he draws like Loch Ness monsters and stuff, and he keeps up to date with all the wizard news and stuff like that. But as we said, it has so much heart. It did really well at the Sundance Film Festival, and that's what got it distribution. And it went on to make $46.1 million, which you definitely earn your $1,000 when the film makes that.
That's so bad. I
That's
feel
really
sorry for him.
Yeah, it's actually
Lost
$1,000. I've just ruined the
for the
film
rest
for you
of
now,
time.
haven't I?
But I guess the consolation prize is when you're in an independent film like that, you kind of pick your next project when it becomes that successful. But yeah, there's the positive, because I'm the positive guy, and you guys are just
right.
you guys are just Forrest, and I'm Jenny. I'm positive, and you guys aren't. So
Did I tell you remind me of Matthew Broderick?
no, that's really offensive.
Never invited back, ever.
Come on, Dave, say something. Look, you've really annoyed him. Look at that.
I had to self-censor them with all my replies.
Did you? Yeah, I saw you,
I'd just like to say,
gritting
you are.
Yeah.
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 Because you remind me... No.
Now I'm curious. Now I want to know.
Moving on. So anything else that you want to say about Napoleon Dynamite?
Do you have a chapstick?
Oh, it's... And that's... I think another
Just use
part
the
of it,
nurses.
it's one of those films where you don't understand why you're enjoying it, but it's just so enjoyable. Like, come here, Tina, you fat lard.
Eat it.
And just the, like, I love Uncle Rigger. He's like, I bet you I could throw this football over the mountains. No doubt. Fantastic film. Now we move on to what I will argue is the best film of the entire night, but that's subjective. And,
all right.
This is Dave's Video Graveyard featuring Grant and some other lady. 100.5 WOWFM. That we heard from the Three Amigos with Blue Shadows, taken from the best film. Oh, it's a beautiful film. No, that's more so your personality bouncing back on yourself. 1986's Three Amigos, starring two of the greatest members of the Saturday Night Live cast that aren't Bill Murray, starring the ever great Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short, and basically three faux cowboys that are basically big screen actors get asked to come to a small Mexican village to run off a real life infamous gangster. And I even love the whole scene about what the word infamous means, where they think it means you're so famous you're infamous. Why did you pick this fantastic film?
I'm a massive Steve Martin fan, huge fan, and I just remember watching this again later in life. Like, I'd seen a lot of Steve Martin stuff, but then I saw this later and I was just like, nah, this is it.
Yeah. This is
it was love at first sight. It's so good.
I'm finding more and more reasons to love it. Written by Lorne Michaels of SNL fame, who wrote Wayne's World. So
there you go.
Oh, what?
Such fantastic people behind it. It's another Saturday Night Live film. There's not much to hate about this film. It's so funny.
It's kind of a classic.
It's also, like, I'm pretty sure it's only rated PG, but it's got so many adult jokes that
Innuendos,
I saw this as a kid and then watched it again as an adult. I was like, wow, this is pretty filthy. Just so many sight gags. It's the best. I think it's probably some of the best work of everyone involved.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think?
I just, as I said, I like the fact that costumes have rhinestones on them.
Yeah.
Does that speak to you on a professional level?
It cracks me up. The fact that they're out in the West and they have these like sparkly costumes. It's brilliant.
There's probably my favourite bit when it comes to the costume is right at the end where basically Martin Short's character has to have a shootout with the German guy. And Steve Martin's sneaking around with his hat on. And it's just the silliest visual thing because he's like sneaking around doorways and stuff and just this massive hat. It is a feel-good hit, I would say.
I agree.
Is that all you've got?
Yeah, I agree. The end.
It was made for $25 million, went on to make $39.2 million.
Yeah.
Released in 86, which was before you were born.
No, I was born in 86.
Oh, okay, I'm good at math.
Clearly graduated.
That's it. And it was made by, what's his name? John Landis, who made the Twilight Zone film that you learned all about while we're off air.
Yeah, what's the deal there? Can you explain it again?
No, you were telling me.
Well, apparently 3 people died in this Twilight movie, and I had no idea. That's insane.
During the filming of the Twilight Zone film, there's a sequence where basically a character wakes up, an American wakes up in the middle of a conflict in Vietnam, and John Landis actually decided to film it in Vietnam for real because at the time you weren't legally allowed to film children at night time in America because of the Screen Actor Guild rules.
Right, yeah.
Kids weren't allowed to work longer than 6 hours. So if you had them work 6 hours during that day, they couldn't do that night. And because of the tight schedule, it's like, we'll go to Vietnam where you actually can, child actors.
And while you're there, make me a purse.
Basically, sew shoes all day and then come to the film at night. But anyway, there was meant to be a controlled crash of a helicopter into the water that was featuring the main actor played by, I'm just trying to remember. Oh, this is the wrong film anyway. But the main actor and the 2 children actors that were in the film. And the helicopter crash went wrong. Rather than fake crashing, it real crashed and basically decapitated the 2 children and the lead actor of that segment.
That's awful.
And still made it into the film, but...
That's terrifying.
It was bad. The thing was, that is such a controversial thing that happened. And the film was overshadowed because it features the thing which the Simpsons have done to death, the segment where John Lithgow's on a plane and he's scared of flying, and there's a gremlin out on the wing, which is, I think, it's John Lithgow in the film, but it was Will Shatner in the TV show. But yeah, everyone loved that segment so much, they just totally overlooked the fact that people died for the less good part of the film. And the son of John Landis, who is Max Landis, made a lot of films. He's made, I think he's made Victor Frankenstein and a whole heap of movies lately. And in an interview recently I was watching, he actually says that people still throw in his face what happened with his dad. Right. So there's some feel-good news.
That's beautiful.
All stemming from 3 Amigos, the best feel-good hit on tonight's list.
Crash.
But just let's add to the films that you can feel good of when you're watching. American Werewolf in London.
Oh,
The
Coming
Blues
to
Brothers,
America! Come on.
all made by Max Landis, the man that kills people with helicopters.
Oh, Coming to America. That is tops.
You've regretted your list.
Yeah, like every
film
and I said that, didn't I? I said choosing 12 was really hard, actually, and I thought it was going to be really easy because that sounds like a lot. But it's actually really difficult, and now I'm like, I
find it's easier depending how much cardio you did as a child. Like I could pick my top 400 films because I didn't have friends or go outside when I was a kid.
Aww.
But now I go outside, so things have changed. Things are on the up, guys. Shut up. Moving on. Our next... speaking of feel-bad films, our next film is the most depressing chick flick I've ever seen. And not for...
Do you think it's a chick flick? I think it's both.
I accidentally watched it under the guise of... My wife was obsessed with Gosling from The Notebook, and we both found it in a video shop, or DVD shop, and thought it was just another... Like, because even the trailer, like, where he's playing the ukulele and being all Ryan Gosling-y... Is that a word? Yes, it is
now.
It is now.
When he was being all Ryan Gosling-y, we're like, oh, this is going to be so delightful and happy, and wow, you're in for a treat with this one. Moving right on, this is Dave's Video Graveyard. And that is a chick flick to watch with your... I might turn my microphone on. That's a chick flick to watch with your shoelaces out, this one. It is a...
Your shoelaces out? I don't get it.
Yeah, what's that?
What do you mean by that?
Stop trying to make that a thing.
So that your feet don't swell up.
Oh.
I'm not saying that on air. 2010 film starring Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams, who... I know her from so many things.
I know her from Dawson's Creek.
I know her from Heath Ledger. It's Marriage. That's about it. But tell us all about this feel-good hit of the summer.
It's a realistic look at relationships, okay, Dave?
So, as much as I pretend not to, I'm partial to a good chick flick. Yeah. I thought this was a chick flick, and it even makes you think it is. But for every happy chick flick moment, they counterbalance it with reality.
It's a couple. They meet.
It's not escapism when they throw that kind of crap in. I thought one day I could end up with Ryan Gosling, and then I watched this and realised that maybe that won't be a good thing because he's just going to get drunk and paint houses.
How heartbreaking is one of the last scenes in the kitchen? Oh.
He cries and he's all...
My heart right now is like trembling.
You promise. You should get that checked out.
It's the Red Bull.
Oh, maybe it's just attractiveness to someone that's opposite you, perhaps. But
I like computer monitors.
Yeah.
You can call me what you want. So, yeah, he has a big cry. And he's like, you promised to be with me for better or worse.
Don't make fun of Ryan Gosling.
This is my worst.
Don't make fun of Ryan Gosling.
I'm not making fun of Ryan Gosling. He was awesome in
Everything.
Heads.
5 Heads.
Imagine if
he doesn't have a big forehead.
He does have a big forehead.
He has perfect
He looks
forehead.
like the bonnet of a VW Beetle. But
Very
I still
good
love it.
bonnet.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just quickly, with this movie, apparently I read about it. The director...
apparently you read about it or you did read
No,
it?
sorry, I read about it. But apparently what happened was to help them age, he actually spent a lot of time... So they filmed the first part, like when they're young, and then he made them wait a certain amount of months before he made them live together and then film it so that it feels like that they have aged in some ways. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like it was, which I found really interesting because he took his sweet time filming this movie.
It's, as I said, it is so depressing. I want a film to make me feel good, and this just... It upsetted me. It hurt my heart because, you know, it wasn't How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, right.
Basically. That was my biggest critique of the film.
Stop being so triggered.
Don't be like that. Just because I said that you're a midday movie girl.
I am. I love it.
So why else should people see this feel-good hit of the summer?
Are you experiencing troubles in your life? Are you unhappy within your relationship?
Do you just paint houses all day?
Do you regret not marrying the jock at your high school?
Yes.
What, I knew it. Watch Blue Valentine. That's it for me.
We used to pick on sports kids at my school. Like, you wouldn't want to marry a jock. So, taking it so seriously. It's javelin.
Javelin.
So yeah, it was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. Well, Michelle Williams was, not the film. How? This film is boring as well. Sorry. You picked a great film.
Oh, definitely.
I know that it's not surprising that just sunburned me, but it did. Don't let my olive complexion fool you. So we might move on to bigger and better things here on the Graveyard, featuring Grant for the second last time. Are we telling people or not?
No.
Okay.
It's a secret.
Okay. So
Until next week.
No worries. We might play a few ads and then we'll be back here on DVG featuring Nona Mona. Where can people check you out if they want to see the person they're listening to?
So find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Nona Mona, and find me on Facebook at Nona Mona, and I usually update where I am and what shows are coming up.
And a big swearing warning going out to anyone that checks it out, because
yeah, my podcast is...
She's particular to a few words. I don't even know if that's a proper sentence, but
Particular
to a few words.
I said it in a silly voice, so it's delightful. All right, this is Dave's Video Graveyard. 100.5 WOWFM, covering all the big topics. We are Google imaging 12 chocolate bars, just discussing the time that Grant tried to kick me off the show.
You don't eat them right.
There is nothing wrong with eating all three at once, like it's a sandwich.
It was just annoying. It was just annoying to look at. I don't know why I was looking at you eating
A
chocolate. Anyway, it was just annoying.
I don't think I've ever eaten one, guys.
Get onto it. They're amazing. But eat them one at a time. That's how you're supposed to.
Is that part of your vegan CrossFit lifestyle?
Super CrossFit.
Yeah.
There's nothing I like more than sweating.
Well, you've come to the right place, because I can sweat in winter. You like that? I sweat.
What was that? Oh, I just got something in my eye.
I'm allergic to cardio. It's not my fault. We're talking about the 1994 film, which is an absolute classic, revitalised the career of John Travolta, made Tarantino a household name, following on from Reservoir Dogs the year before. It is Pulp Fiction, starring Bruce Willis, John Travolta. Just everyone's awesome in it.
Uma Thurman.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Sam Jackson.
Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer,
No, this
Laura
one's great,
Lovelace,
man.
John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson,
This keeps going.
Phil Lamar, Frank Wiley, Burst Steers, Bruce Willis, Ving Rhames, Paul Callerton, whatever that word is, Rosanna Arquette, Eric Stoltz, Uma Thurman. Is that enough?
Yeah, beautiful. Done.
Sweet. I
Next up.
rattled that all off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick this film?
It's a classic, man. Like, how can you... If you don't like this movie, there's something wrong with you, I think.
I think you just Googled it and you've never really seen it. You just want to be hip with us cool. Totally.
I know. I wanted to be cool with the movie nerds.
Hey, you've seen how much we actually know tonight. So you've seen behind the veil. You've seen... there's nothing going on in the champagne room here. There's nothing.
Yeah.
We've got nothing special.
Champagne, hey?
Yeah.
What was your favourite scene in this?
I know that Grant's going to say the basement scene
know,
at the
yeah,
porn
here we
store.
go. I knew he was gonna say that.
Before Bruce Willis comes back, that's your favourite scene. I probably like...
That is hard. There's so many great scenes
Yeah, I know.
of all film history.
We realised... We did a Travolta special a while back, and we realised that every time Travolta takes a crap in this film, something terrible happens.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's almost the catalyst of everything bad that happens. He does it, and Mia overdoses on heroin. He takes a crap and he gets killed by Bruce Willis.
Yep.
Spoiler alert for 1994 film, guys. And the other time...
The end when he's in the toilet and, well, it's back at the start. when they're robbing the diner.
Yes.
Every time we go to the toilet, something bad happens.
Oh, and Jules gets in the shootout with the the burger, Big Brain Brad. Great film. I probably like the fact that Bruce Willis keys John Travolta's car because they like stare at each other.
Yeah.
You picked up on that, right?
No.
When
when
Travolta and Samuel L. go to see Ving Rhames, who's their boss, Marcellus Wallace, when they're waiting, Bruce Willis is there finding out about throwing the fight. And as he leaves, he stares at Travolta, and Travolta's like staring him down. So he leaves. And then later in the film, Travolta finds out that his brand new car that he just got out of storage, his classic car, has been keyed. And you
never put the two together. There you go.
That Travolta keyed it. Oh, the watch scene is Christopher Walken.
Oh wow, yeah.
The watch scene is my favorite.
Probably the needle scene, not just
the needle scene.
Oh man,
what are we talking about?
When he
earlier when I said I wanted a disease.
Yeah.
So tonight we're covering all the family-friendly topics. I think maybe we should podcast this one for kids. Kidcast.
I love the scene. Yeah, the overdose scene is insane, isn't it?
Awesome.
I like the lead up to the overdose. I don't like the overdose
right.
scene. So yeah, I think
you just had to clarify that in case people.
I love a good overdose.
Yeah. So you're talking about the Jackrabbit Slims and the dance contest, and
and then the son of a preacher man.
It's very burlesque. I can see what you like about it.
It's just cool, man. It's just one of those like cool scenes that you're just like, if that was me, I'd feel really cool doing it.
I challenge anyone to find a director that puts better music in their films. Scorsese comes close, but I think he's trumped just a little bit by
That's a good
Quentin
call.
Tarantino. Thanks. I know stuff. I feel validated now, and that's the end of the show, because that's all I'm here for. Anything else you'd like to add about this film? I think this may have been one of the first R-rated films that I ever saw.
Yeah, same actually. And whenever it's on TV, it's always cut, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just can't watch it on TV. Adverts every 10 minutes as well. This is not the kind of film that you can watch with advert breaks.
No.
And I also, I know it ends up being okay, but I would never forgive Butcher's girlfriend for leaving the watch behind. Like, that infuriates me.
She is an infuriating character. Whenever I watch that, I'm like, and I know she's there, but every time I just get pissed off.
When she's talking about a pot belly and punching it and stuff, it's like, what?
Yeah.
What? Anyway, we've all been triggered by probably the most minor character. Oh, there's a Harley. Sweet. Okay, so we'll move on to our next choice, which...
Yeah.
Back to the midday movie chick flicks here on Dave's Video Graveyard. Here's a little fact about this next song. It was released for the film, which I never knew, but I thought the lyrics as a kid were "Bake me a pie of love," but they're not. This is a learning experience for all of us here on the Graveyard. Oh yeah, Steve Winwood taking us back to mid-90s commercial radio here on Dave's Video Graveyard. Taken from the next film, which I knew nothing about. Stop moving the microphone. It is the film.
You're not a rapper, man. Like, why are you holding it like that?
He was about to spit fire and we ruined it for him.
Do you have spaghetti and vomit on your sweater?
He does, but he's quite touchy about it.
Yeah, do you, man?
It's laundry day. Tell us about the next choice.
It's Big Business with Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin.
And for anyone out there that's interested in seeing this film from 1988, the entire thing's up on YouTube.
Is it?
Oh, is it one of those where
it's one of those ones where they just put the whole film on YouTube?
I don't care about copyright. There you go. Watch
I don't think it's had an official release either, because it's not even like, you know the way there's like trailers of everything on YouTube? There's not even a decent quality trailer of this on YouTube. And so there you go. But the whole film's there.
Who did the trailer?
Starring Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler, both as twin dual roles. And it's one for the ladies. And I don't mean to be sexist, but...
no, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's No Beaches that at least had a happy ending. This is just, I don't know. Tell us about it.
What do you mean? It's comedy gold. It's like...
I love Lily Tomlin.
My favourite scene in this, is, the scene that mimics the Marx Brothers mirror
The
image?
mirror, yep.
Yeah. That's just brilliant. You can't go wrong with that.
So
shtick.
They're both twins separated at birth, and obviously they grew up as sisters, but they're actually swapped, so they're identical twins. And then they just happen to come across each other in a hall where they're dressed in the same outfits, and their instinct is to both do the same thing in the mirror. It's you've got to suspend.
You're so against it.
No, not at all. It's just I'm just saying it's not Van Damme in Double Impact. It's not that kind of twin film. It's a little bit different.
Oh, it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger and what's his name? Danny DeVito.
Yes, that's a good. Damn it, that's another good one.
Honourable mention to twins.
Your honourable mentions would be massive compared to the film list.
So what did you end up watching this movie or not?
I skim watched it on YouTube.
And what about
like flicking across the Did you just anyway?
I flicked across, and there's actually a bit where not to be a bit of a misogynist, but there was a bit where Bette Midler's like singing a song with like yodeling and stuff, and I was expecting.
And she's milking a cow.
I know,
to the music, milking a cow,
and I kind of expected.
That sounds weird.
Because I hadn't established the character before I'd skipped through. I was kind of expecting her to strip, but she doesn't. And I was like, oh, that would have been great. Have you ever considered taking a cow on stage and like having their little?
Funny
old
you
lady?
should mention that. I'm actually getting in the middle of creating a cow routine. I'm not.
Tell us more. Tell us more.
So I'm going to be like a sexy cow. It's going to be the first ever sexy cow.
Oh, I don't know.
Awesome.
Have you seen the film Top Secret?
No.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Keep it a secret.
No, there's a scene where Val Kilmer and another guy dress up as a pantomime cow, and then a bull comes along. No, another cow comes along and feeds from the pantomime cow, which is atomically positioned somewhere. Check it out. It's a great film. Great film.
Sounds like quality.
Sorry, back to you telling us about taking your clothes off dressed as a cow.
Yeah,
Speaking
man.
of quality, tell us more.
What do you want to know? It's going to be epic. It's coming out soon. I'm actually getting the costume made at the moment.
Will you be getting prosthetics to have the same amount?
I don't need them.
Don't need them? Okay.
That's what I pictured. Why was I picturing that? I was like, how do you do a sexy cow?
You'll have to come see.
You've sold it. You've sold it. Do you ever think when they were writing this film, they're like, one day people are going to be talking about this film and talk about sexy cows more than the film? Have many other films in your life been overshadowed by sexy cows?
Nah, man.
This was back at a time where you couldn't get Bette Midler to be in a film unless she sang a song.
Okay.
And got royalties for it.
Yeah.
And she was a massive diva. I looked into some of the like reviews, like the Siskel and Ebert review at the time, and Bette Midler just was like, would halt production for days if she wasn't happy. She was right at the height of Bette Midler.
I love this. See, this makes me love her even more.
Definitely.
I love that. She's a diva. Brilliant. Are you guys Bette Midler fans, Lily Tomlin fans?
I grew up with a sister a year older than me, so I think every school holidays I had to watch Beaches at least once.
Yeah, right.
What about you?
Oh, I don't mind Bette Midler. I don't mind. I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan.
That's so ambivalent.
I remember watching For the Boys with my mum, and she cried when Bette Midler's, spoiler alert, son gets killed, and she cried then, and I was just like, are we watching the same movie? Because I was waiting to watch something awesome afterwards.
What are we waiting for?
I'm not sure.
See, Bette Midler has a soft spot for me because I have a soft spot for her because
tell us more about how much
she should be so lucky. She starred in a movie called Gypsy, which is about
Is
Gypsy
starring
Rose
in the
Lee.
same as starring in? You said starred in.
Did I?
No, apparently not. Apparently not.
Thanks for picking up on my disabilities.
That's all right.
Anyway, she starred in Gypsy, which is about Gypsy Rose Lee, which is one of the biggest burlesque stars.
Oh, we did know that.
Yeah,
we knew that.
And anyway, I saw that movie as a kid, and I remember saying I want to be a stripper when I'm older. So there you go.
I said the same thing when I watched Showgirls. Is that the one with Kelly
Worst
from
movie
Saved by the
ever,
Bell?
but so good.
Yeah.
What's the one with creepy Burt Reynolds? That's Striptease, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Why didn't you pick all those films? Why didn't you just be a one-dimensional person?
Sorry.
Yeah. So, sell Big Business to people that haven't seen it. Why should they watch it?
It's comedy gold. No, it's really not. I don't know. It's just a feel-good movie, isn't it? And you've got two awesome lead actresses. It's just a feel-good movie. Go see it. Do it. Don't be lame.
Go see it in cinemas this weekend. As we move on to our final film on the Guest's Choice episode, and I start stroking out with my talking.
We've got 5 minutes left. Hold on,
All right,
Dave.
here's our last song. Dave's Video Graveyard. There we heard from the track from The Wolf of Wall Street. The next choice from our lovely guest. Sorry, from our guest, Nona Mona. Yeah, I'm over it. I've moved on. Tell us why you picked this. Tell us why you picked this film.
It's epic, man.
It is insane.
Did you copy someone's homework and change it up a bit? Because you've got fantastic films like this, and then Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Also, just thrown in to change it up a bit. You just looked at a Watch Mojo video on YouTube. But top best films ever.
I think you just need to swallow some concrete.
Sounds sexy. Sexy cow concrete. 2003 from Martin Scorsese. It was it their third film together? Because they did Shutter Island, The Aviator,
Departed,
and Mona's just coughing off camera. Off camera. I'm upskirting under.
You said 2003. It's 2013.
2013. I said. You didn't hear the third. Tell us why you picked this. Oh, and they also did The Departed, which is the best film ever.
So I never knew. I didn't know anything about the character that this guy plays.
And the Gangs of New York. Moving on. Jordan Belfort. I didn't realise it was a real person even after I'd seen the film.
And
this
is a true story.
Yeah, I didn't.
Pretty mind-blowing.
Because he's got his own book out and everything.
It's actually, it's the source material is his memoir that he wrote himself, which makes it so much better. I love when he just... My favourite part... Well, there's other than Margot Robbie and the teddy bear. I really love the part where he's trying to sell his money-making scheme and gets arrested mid-live commercial back in the days when they made live-to-air commercials.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
There's just so many epic scenes to this, and you played the pausey scene.
Thank you for suggesting that scene to play as well. I'm glad that was all on you picking. This is a film. It's not many films modern films that deserve the R rating that they got. This one's like, are you sure it's only R?
Yeah.
It's one to watch with the whole family. It's so entertaining start to finish.
He's so good
that's
in this
what
film,
always bothered me is DiCaprio is so much better in this than he was in
anything. I think he's amazing in this.
Yeah, he
really is. Yeah.
The Departed is better, but anyway, just to pick you up on that. And the Titanic. Come on, he deserved one for Titanic as well.
Okay.
Are you shocked that wasn't on the list?
You kind of went down that path with some of your choices, but then I was like, oh yeah, she's changed her homework. Where was The Notebook?
Look, it's epic, right?
Where was the Matthew McConaughey films?
Not a fan. Hey.
Of Matthew McConaughey.
Don't do it.
Oh lordy. I think you should watch Interstellar and cry your eyes out.
Look, I don't mind. It's not like I despise the man, but I'm just not a huge,
When did you realise you wanted to fight him?
Have you seen Failure to Launch? That film.
You know what? When everyone used to be so down on Sarah Jessica Parker. And I'm like, that's so unfair to judge her on her looks and being thing. Didn't realise she was the hot one in Hocus Pocus. But anyway, moving on.
She's married to...
Do you know what unsold me on? I stopped standing up for her. Found out she's married to Matthew Broderick. I'm like, she's a monster. She's an animal. So yeah, check out Wolf of Wall Street. Tell us more about you because we are out of time.
We're done, are we?
Well, you said you needed to poo, so...
No, I said I'm regular. Like, I go 3 times a day.
Very healthy.
But at this stage, it's just urine. So that's... So if you're still listening...
Hi, Mum.
This is why I have so many friends. So just find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook at Miss Nona Mona, and I usually always post about when I have gigs coming up, and obviously my new baby podcast, Listen to Nona.
Is it all spoken in short form?
I was trying to remember it. That's how good it is.
Welcome to Nona Mona podcast.
It's just little cuts up.
Look, I'm just bad at editing. I'm pretty good at that. So, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me,
We'd
guys.
love
It's been
you-
awesome.
We'd love for you to come back when you develop a bit of sense of taste when it comes to broderies.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know, pick a different Matthew. Any other Matthew.
McConaughey.
McConaughey. It all comes
Yeah,
back.
we're going to do a Matthew McConaughey special soon, please.
Oh, maybe.
But
you're
I just like Matthew McConaughey's like weird rants.
Yeah.
And the best thing I've ever done is go on YouTube and just quickly Google, YouTube, people impersonating him.
All right.
It's the best.
It's always all right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Dave's Video Graveyard. And don't forget to join us next week where we have the incomparable Moisty Magic joining us for, another fun ride with ladies.
Another fun ride with ladies. Is that how you're going to finish the show? Is that how you
Can we just cut that here and just have it on repeat?
Fun lady, sexy cow. That can be next week's thing.
Fun lady, sexy.
This is Dave's Video Graveyard. Thank you, Grant, for impersonating me and saying all those things just then.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much. Join us next week from 8 here on WOWFM.